Welcome to LatinPerDiem and part 2 of our series on the Libellus de Memoria of William Perkins. Here you can see Perkins' dates and then the date of the publication of this work, the Libellus de Memoria. Memoriae sedem philosophi in occipitio statuunt, sic enim omnes fere dicunt. Cerebrum tribus donatur ventriculis, primus seu anterior, qui frontem respicit, sensus communis ventriculus nuncupatur. The subject of this sentence is philosophy. The philosophers statuunt, they place or establish. The object of this is sedem, which is accusative singular, and then it's patterning with this genitive memoriae. Because of the flexibility of Latin word order, Perkins is able to put the most important element, memoriae sedem, right at the front of the sentence in the initial position. Philosophers establish the seat or the abode of memory in occipitio, in the foremost portion of the brain, right here, the occipital lobe. For enim, thus, omnes fere, omnes here is masculine, plural, and nominative. It is the subject. Almost all of them, that's what this adverb fere means, almost all of them dicunt, say so, or hold that that is the case. We might want to imagine with dicunt something like esse. Say that it is so, or esse ita. Not necessary, but no doubt Perkins has something like that in mind. He continues then, cerebrum tribus donatur ventriculis. The brain, he says, cerebrum, and this is neuter, singular, and nominative, donatur, is endowed, tribus ventriculis, with 3 ventricles. Notice in ventriculis we have this diminutive. Venter means a stomach or a gap, a fold, any kind of container, really, and here it's used in the diminutive. So the brain is endowed with 3 ventricles, or 3 portions. Primus, seu, anterior, the first, or the one in front, the one which frontem respicit, the one which looks toward the front of the head, this portion somewhere here. The first one, or the anterior one, which faces the front, nuncupatur. This is a third singular, present, indicative, and passive verb, and it means to be called or to be named. The first or anterior one, which looks toward the frontem, is dubbed nuncupatur. Nuncupatur is dubbed the ventriculus sensus communis, the ventricle of common sense. Now, this does not mean common sense in the terms of knowing not to go out into the cold without a scarf and a hat, but the ventricle of common sense means that of common sensation. So sensus means that which you experience. Sensus is cognate with the verb sentio, sentire, of course, and communis means something that is shared, a shared experience. So here's a good indication of where translating sensus communis by derivatives and saying merely common sense would give an entirely misleading understanding to the passage. It's not the ventricle of common sense as though it's everyday wisdom. It's the ventricle of common sensation. And we know this is so because he will go on in the next sentence, the part that we will save for the next episode. He will go on to talk about the nervi, the nerves of the 5 senses, the quinque sensuum nervi. We hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and we encourage you always to use this thing.